All right. Well, we will get started because I think this is the group that we have tonight. So I figured we would continue the conversation from the Sunday call where Christy was talking about like our goals for 2023. And I'm not sure if you guys listened to her Fitme coffee talk, but Christy always uses this brick analogy where talking about, we're team no perfect, like it's all about consistency. So she uses this brick analogy where you kind of outline what your daily bricks are. So is it getting in 100 ounces of water? Is it making sure you're getting your 2 Fitme plates a day? Is it walking 30 minutes outside? Whatever it is. So, and making sure that those correlate to your goals. And the whole point behind the brick analogy is saying that, there's going to be some days where you can hit all 10 of your bricks and move them over the hill. And then there's going to be other days where maybe you can only get 5, or maybe that day you can only get 2. But I think to be able to understand that analogy a little bit deeper, to get very specific as to what our bricks actually are. You don't necessarily have to have 10 a day, but outlining what are your like daily goals that you're setting for yourself so that they correlate to, your big yearly goal that we were talking about in the Sunday call. So I figured it would be good for all of us to maybe talk and give some examples, and we can brainstorm together so we can figure out, what does a 10 out of 10 day look like for you? And then, maybe it's a day where you wake up and you only have 40% to give. So what are the 4 things that you're going to do that day to be able to move yourself forward? So I don't know if anybody's thought about it this way, but I figured it would be a good conversation to have, especially after talking about setting goals for 2023.
Sorry, I was slightly distracted by my kid, but yeah, the little reset program is like cool because it's like, you just focus on a couple of things. So I'm going to focus on my water and walking and working out again, and trying to fix my back, my lower back. I've had a bunch of issues, so I got those exercises that I have to do. So just those couple awesome things. Oh, and not drinking alcohol. Going dry January, so that'll help.
All right. So you're focusing on your water target. So what's your water target?
It's like 120.
120?
Yeah.
All right. So we got the water target down. We know that are you doing Tori exercises for your back?
Yeah. I haven't started them. I'm supposed to start. I got them a couple days ago. So
okay.
I haven't started yet.
So sometimes with Tori exercises, I know some people feel a little overwhelmed when they look at it. So it might be good for you to outline like how many Tori exercises are you going to do, or are you going to?
Oh, well, I like how it just says it takes like 30 minutes total, right? It tells you like how long, so it's like,
yep,
I can do 30 minutes of whatever,
Okay.
Yeah. Exercise has never been a problem for me really. Until, I get hurt doing CrossFit. So, and I'm 40 now, so there's that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And then I think you also mentioned no alcohol. So you're doing a dry January. So that's another one of your like daily bricks that you're going to move each day to continue to move forward. Now, have you done anything with like your Fitme plates? Have you outlined any of the bricks there?
Yeah, I usually have at least 1 a day. I should probably 2. I'm trying to get more protein because that's never enough. Yeah, so protein with every meal and vegetables.
Okay, so then maybe outlining at least 2 Fitme plates a day, and then maybe on the days where things are crazy, stuff doesn't go as planned, then maybe having like a minimum of having 1 Fitme plate a
day. Yeah, which is easy to do. I mean, I work in a restaurant, so
got it.
It's kind of the same thing every day, but it's like I can get fresh fish and like on a nice salad. It's always like we always have some really good options, healthy options, because there's people at it's a country club, you know, and they're all like vegan, gluten-free, like super healthy everybody's so fit here. It's crazy. It's crazy. So everybody's like, it's hot bods everywhere. So yeah, everybody's super, super healthy. So I'm hoping
So
it
you have
rubs
really
off.
solid options.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So I think that's a good, like, solid place to start. That's like you winning your day, and then it's, you know, there's some days where, you know, you can get your 3 Fitme plates, awesome. You get your water in, okay, and then it's like maybe one day you don't get the Tory exercises in, but you're still making that conscious effort to move forward towards what you're working towards. So did you outline your 2023 goal?
I don't know. Not really. No, not quite yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think if you guys are like listening to this call, listening to the replay, or anybody who's on here actively listening, one of the first steps in order to like identify what are the things that are going to move you forward is getting really clear as to like what you want. And I know Christy asked the questions where, you know, one, what is the goal? Make it very specific and ask yourself, why does it even matter? Like, why does it matter if you lose weight? Like, what is the reason why? Because there's definitely going to be times during the year where we lose sight of it. I mean, it's just natural. It happens. But remembering why you're doing what you're doing is the reason, you know, you want to be able to, like, I'll use Julie as an example because she was on the call. She wants to be able to lift heavier weights. So Christy challenged her to outline, okay, how heavy? And then she asked her, well, why does lifting heavy weights matter? She goes, oh, well, I have a 2-year-old. Well, why does that matter? Because I want to be able to pick her up. So like the reason why she wants to get strong is to be able to play with her daughter and like hold her daughter. So that's her why behind she's doing what she's doing. So that's definitely a good question to ask, because then you're like, once you know what your specific goal is, outlining the steps to get there can be a lot easier. Julie or Carrie, did you guys outline your goals for 2023 yet, or even just a January goal?
My January goal is I just had a doctor's appointment, so I got my blood work back. So mine is just going to be concentrating on really movement and eating and getting my water in. So getting more protein, but getting a leaner protein in because my cholesterol is high. And so getting, you know, good, solid fruits, vegetables, good lean protein in. So that's going to be a goal of mine, you know, because I need to go back in 3 months and see how my blood work is. So,
okay. All right. So we heard more protein, more fruits and veggies. So I guess how are you going to know that you're hitting that? How do you know that you've eaten more?
it's basically how I'm meal prepping. So, you know, I'm doing my meal prep of doing roasted potatoes and doing chicken and turkey, and I'm only doing red meat. I'll only be doing red meat like once a week for my meal prepping. So that's how I'm doing that, and then just incorporating better vegetables, because you know, I was told by my physician to go on, you know, check out the Mediterranean diet, you know, the way of eating. So, you know, I've been researching that and kind of, I'm going to go through what I have for my pantry and what I have for proteins and stuff like that, and then just start building on those building blocks.
Okay. Do you have a system set in place to hit that meal prep?
Yeah. I'm just, you know, I usually do my meal prep on Sundays. So yesterday was actually our Christmas with my husband's side of the family. So, and I hosted it. So that's why today seems like it's Sunday to me. So I did all my meal prepping today. So I prepped up my chicken. I prepped up some roasted potatoes. I cut up my veggies that I'm going to be taking to work. So, you know, that way I've already portioned out everything for me to take to work with me. So that way I can have my breakfast there. Cause I go in, I wake up at 5 in the morning now, and then I go into the office, and we've got our gym down in the basement. So they put in a fitness center down in the basement of our building. So I have access to that. So when I go into work, I, do my half hour of walking, and then I do my tour exercises, and then I do a quick workout. So that's what I do on the days that I go into the office. Otherwise, when I'm at home, I have a treadmill here, so I'm able to do that at home too.
Okay. So it sounds like you have a good solid meal prep system in place. It sounds like you probably will need to be hitting 2 to 3 Fitme plate a day.
Yeah, that is going to be crucial to change the stats for mine, is to get 2 to 3 Fitme plates in.
Okay, perfect. And then you said you're also focusing on movement, correct?
Yeah.
So that's your exercise and when you get into work.
Yeah, so I'll be able to work out with machinery and weights the 3 days a week when I go into work. And so that'll be 3 days a week that I'll be able to do weights, because I only have like 5-pound weight here. But I have resistant bands, so I'm able to do that here if I'm not able to go into the office. So
okay, perfect. So minimum of like 3 days a week you're training in the gym, at work. And then I think you also said water. Yeah.
Got to make sure I get my water in. So I'm set at like 105 ounces. So
okay. Do you have like a water bottle you keep track of that with?
Yeah, I mean, I have a 24-ounce bottle that I use at home, and then a 24-ounce bottle that I use at work. And I just usually at work, I usually get almost all my water in at work when I'm at a work, just because it's drier there than it is in my house. So and I have more things to do. But if I usually get 4 in before 5 o'clock, I'm good. And that way I only have to drink, 10 to 16 ounces, the rest of the evening. So that way it's prepped. And water really has never been an issue for me, because that's basically all I drink. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you have a solid plan behind how you're actually going to hit these things to get closer to lowering the cholesterol, which is perfect.
Yep.
Because then you're like, all right, it's very specific. It's very black and white. Did you hit this today or did we not? And even if we hit 2 of the 3, we know where you have to like maybe focus the next day to adjust.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. I love that. That's good stuff. Carrie, can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay. My earbuds are acting weird, so I wasn't sure if my entire sound is acting up on my phone or if it was just my earbuds. So I'm only hearing you in mono, so it sounds really weird. So yeah, a couple of my goals this year are really carryover goals from late last year, because I really just incorporated them into my kind of plan. So my annual goals, and you and I kind of talked about this, a phone off an hour before bed. And I like that, my goal was to stop with the electronics, by 8 o'clock, but I like an hour before bed because that feels more doable for me. So I actually incorporated some of the January reset goals, and then I'm going to journal most days at the end of the day. And then the other carryover is to try to get 5,000 steps most days. So that most days is a huge win for me, because the biggest growth that I've had this last 9 months, or gosh, maybe only 6 or 7 months, has really been my mindset. And because, well, again, my mindset has always been, it's either 100%, it's either perfect or it's a failure. So piggybacked onto that, my January goals are really no sad clothes. And again, the phone off an hour before bed, and no fast food. And it's not a huge problem for me, but there are times fast food, I mean, there are times when I kind of hit this sweet spot where I'm just exhausted from the day and I don't feel like eating what I prepped, or I'm sick of what I prepped because I've had it all week. And so I need to kind of just gird up my mind here and say, no, you have made it a commitment for this month that you are not going to do this. And I am better with chunks. So making a monthly goal is more visible. I can see the finish line, and I need that motivation or commitment to the finish line. So I think having the monthly, I'm just not going to touch fast food this month, is a really good start for me, because 30 days, anybody can do that for 30 days, right? So, so that's what I did. And I did take some notes from the Fitme fam call that maybe are appropriate. I still have my protein daily goal of 100 grams a day. And I think most days I get that. My problem is that I tend to have to use protein powder, to hit that. And I really try to eat clean, really clean most of the time. So it bothers me that I have to use the protein powder to reach those goals. And I'm hopeful that I will find better strategies throughout this next year so that I can have more clean, natural, as close to the way God made them as possible proteins in my diet. But I still struggle to eat as much as I need to eat. So that's something I'm working on. But my new goals, really, I talked about the journaling, but the journaling is also something about valuing myself. And that's things that have been changed. So what's changed is, my mindset shift from perfect as a goal and the only measure of success to being progress and listening to my body being my goals. And the listening to my body is huge. Yesterday I took my first bike ride of the year, training for my 60 at 60. And halfway through it, I'm going, oh my God, I can't do this. Oh, I'm too old. Everything hurts. What's the matter with me? Why did I make this goal for myself? This is stupid. I'm never going to do it. And I caught myself talking to myself that way. And I had to say, wait a minute, this is the first day. My body adapts really well to training because I have good muscle memory. I have never failed to do anything that I set out as a goal to do, and I need to quit assuming I'll fail. And it's not the end of the world if I don't make it on my 60th birthday, because I've got the rest of the year to work at it if I need to. And so I just had to say, keep talking to myself, and that's huge. So that me time, that valuing of myself is what has changed for me. That's what's different for me this year, is I actually value myself. And which has nothing to do with movement, but everything to do with why my goals are less about movement this year and more about introspective or me things. Because I don't have a problem with working out or movement. I don't. The walking is different because that's not something I've made a commitment to before, but I've never had a problem with movement. So the problem has been with my head. So I see value in myself, and that's new. So yeah.
Well,
So how am I going to meet that goal? Is I'm going to make sure that there's one day a month that I don't work, and that day is going to do the things that I feel that I need to do, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually, to honor my body, my life choices, my needs, my feelings, my thoughts, whatever that looks like. It's going to be my day. I have never done that in my life.
I love that for you. And I know how hard you've been working from a mindset perspective to really break the all or nothing. And I think, utilizing the strategy of having that monthly goal that you work towards, it's helping you get that little win. And it's like each month you're creating these little wins for yourself. You're doing these small things that will build up over time where they just become a natural tendency. I mean, look, you're hitting the 5,000 steps, which you weren't doing, what was that, like a month and a half ago?
Yep, so, 6 weeks ago.
Yep. So exactly, where it's like you've already built all of this like consistency where you're just continuing on that path, and that's totally fine that it's carrying over into this year. And if your goals didn't necessarily change from 2022 to into 2023, that's also totally fine. And I love that you gave yourself grace where you're like, oh my God, this is the first day, like this is hard. But you also had that talk, that internal dialogue where you're like, okay, this is the first day. I know it's going to be hard, but it's going to be easier. And I'm dedicated to doing this. And, I think for your rides, I know you're doing it with your grandson, right?
Yeah, but he bailed on me yesterday, little chicken. He actually said, oh, I'm so tired. I stayed up so late last night. And I just looked at him. So, but that was okay. My husband offered to do it with me. And I thought, no, I'm going to take this one by myself. And I actually went farther than I intended to. My training schedule was really just to start at 15 and I did 17, which isn't a huge deal, but the first half hour, I'm like, oh, my butt hurts so bad. It's like I had this nerve that was the way I was sitting on the seat, and I ride all the time. So it's just everything was trying to sabotage this ride. But it was good for me to do it by myself, because by the end of the ride, I'm like, okay, yeah, everything hurts like a son of a gun, but I'm going to go home. I'm going to arnica up my body. I'm going to take a hot bath, and I'm going to have a protein shake, and it's going to be fine. And it was.
Okay. Yeah. And I feel like the goals that, like, because you have the 60 at 60, it's very performance based. So it's like you're doing the things that are helping you perform the best. And it's also from a mental side too. It's that those can be one of your bricks where, in Fitme, we have like the 5 minutes for you a day. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe you start like Carrie and it's one day out of the entire month where that's like something that you do for yourself, where it doesn't always just have to be like a physical action where you're journaling, getting out your thoughts at the end of the night. So that's something that you're doing to mentally recharge so you can handle all of these more tactical things like water and steps and all that jazz.
Yeah, I feel like it's doable and positive. And I gotta say, I hate admitting that I've spent my life on a treadmill that wasn't going in the right direction. But I have to say that the key to the success has really been connecting with other people.
Yeah, we have a great community here of really awesome women that support each other no matter what our goals are.
So I feel pretty good about 2023. Hopefully it doesn't turn on us. Hopefully it doesn't turn on us. And even if it does, we have our goals to keep focused on. So.
Mm-hmm. And you got a good support system here through your coaches, through the calls, through the community, and you ladies on this call, obviously I specifically know you have both had tremendous wins in 2022, and you're determined, you're putting in the work, you're identifying the things that you need to do. And then also the whole point of going over this brick analogy, or Christy always explains it better. I'm not as good as with words as she is, but that's the whole point of it, is that when you're consistently doing the things, the majority of the time, those couple days where you only get 1 or 2, or maybe you don't get anything in, but the other times you're getting 7, 10, 9, 8, whatever it is, that's how you continuously move forward. And that was the whole point of identifying some of these things, so that when you're having a really hard day and you're like, man, I didn't do jack anything today, and you can look back and say, all right, what is the one thing that I can do at the end of the day to help me move forward? And it'll be a 1 or 2 brick day, and then tomorrow jump back on and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So really good wins from all of you guys. And that's really all I have for us tonight. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think I blabbed enough.
I don't think it was blabbing. I personally liked the confidence when you were saying all the goals that you were doing. The confidence in your voice was awesome. So
thank you. I talk a good game.
Welcome. Well, but having that confidence to begin with. I mean, that sets you up instead of, always saying, well, I'm going to try. No, I'm going to do this. And I may not hit it every time, but I'm going to get back up and do it again. So,
Yeah, I know myself. If I give myself a nod, I'll take it. So
yeah.
Yeah, you definitely did speak with confidence, Carrie. And Julie, so did you. I mean, you had your whole
Yeah.
freaking plan laid out. So give yourself some credit.
It's been a learning process to learn how to do this. To
Yeah.
learn how to give yourself measurable goals and think things through, because really we're not, nobody teaches us this stuff, and it's not, ingrained. We're not born with this skill.
Nope.
And the
Right.
world certainly doesn't encourage us to do things like this. So
No, and it seems so intimidating, but then, we have our coaches and we have Christy that breaks it down. Okay, well, this is what you want for a goal, but how are you going to get there? What are the steps that you're going to take? And that's what, you're simplifying until you get to the few things that, and then it's not so intimidating. So
yeah,
you don't feel so overwhelmed.
Exactly. Yeah, Christy's really good at being able to do that and framing it in a way that it's digestible and it's not like, oh my God, I gotta, when you think about it, Carrie, I'm using you for example, because it's like a big goal, 60 miles. I think of that and I'm like, holy crap. But then if you think about it in bite-sized pieces where you're like, all right, I start out, I think you said 10 miles is when you start, but like 10 miles this week, maybe 15 miles the next week. And then those small increments don't seem as crazy. And then eventually you get to 60 and you're like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about easy, but it'll be like,
It'll be
I'm gonna
attainable.
kill this. Yeah. Now, my grandson, if he doesn't practice with me, he might find it a little bit challenging.
Yeah, tell him he's going to have to keep up with you.
Yep.
You're going to have to be like his drill sergeant to get him out of bed.
Yep.
All right, ladies. Well, I hope you both had an awesome new year. This was a really good conversation, and hopefully you feel really good about moving forward in 2023 and this next month and figuring out exactly what you have to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Tabby. It was.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. I will talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.